What's up, sports bettors? We just missed on our last PrizePicks entry. We needed Jordan Diaz to get on base, but regardless, we're back at it today. I'm going to be giving out some player props that I like for the NFL tomorrow. And again, if you're new to the OddsJam YouTube, right, what makes this channel very unique is we really try to focus on data, right? My background is I was a quant on Wall Street, and if you think about why sports betting is so fascinating, and what, sports books obviously aren't going to market to you, is every bookmaker, prices things independently. The lines on DraftKings aren't the same as the lines on FanDuel. So what you can do is ruthlessly, compare lines between sports books and kind of find value. That's how the sharps make money. That's how people who do this full-time for a living make money. They use data to find their bets, right? They're not watching highlight reels of Dalvin Cook scoring touchdowns. That's not what they're doing, right? So the first pick I found, as an example, is I'm going with Johnson, right? So this is in Viking Saints. I'm going with Johnson under 25.5 receiving yards. So let's go here. I'm going with him under 25.5 receiving yards. So why do we like this play? How did we find this play, right? And by the way, it's completely free to browse odds on OddsJam for any sport you want to look at, right? So you want to play on PrizePicks, Underdog, the sports books, DraftKings, BetOnline, whatever. It's all on OddsJam, completely free, right? The whole point of OddsJam was to bring real-time data to sports bettors and kind of show you, how to use data to make smarter bets, right? To become a better sports bettor. And what you'll see right here is for Johnson, some sports books have his receiving yards total at 20.5. Some sportsbooks at 25.5, PrizePicks. So what I ended up going with is the under, right? I like the under for Johnson. It's 5 points higher than, BetOnline, a very sharp sports book, a few yards higher than Pinnacle. These differences are meaningful. Like when the distribution, let's say like Johnson, he typically ends up between 10 and 40 rushing yards with like 80% certainty. The jump from, 20.5, under 20.5 to under 25.5 receiving yards is super meaningful. So when you're trying to, bet on sportsbooks, beat the vig, beat the spread, beat the juice that sportsbooks charge, which is typically like 4, 5, 6% depending on the market in the sportsbook, you need to be looking for value, right? And PrizePicks is way off from the rest of the market. So this is an example of a great betting opportunity where we're able to find value. And kind of the tool you can use is the middle betting tool on OddsJam. So this tool is pretty unique because what it does is it just essentially shows you, where there are line discrepancies between sportsbooks. So what you'll notice for Johnson is FanDuel, they offer these alternate lines on him, 25 plus receiving yards, 40 plus, 50 plus, is there's a big line discrepancy but on FanDuel in between PrizePicks, right, with their alternate lines. So it just kind of shows you like bets that are interesting, which is really critical as a sports bettor if you think about it, right? If we had to guess, I don't even know, maybe like probably on sportsbooks, there's 100,000 odds on each sportsbook, 50, 100,000 odds depending on the sportsbook. Like just looking at Caesars alone, if we just go to one NFL game, as an example of the amount of odds they have on their site, you go to one game, it's like they have all this stuff, then they have quarter props, all these different props, who's scoring, right? Like, then they have TD scores, player props, alternate lines, right? All these alternate lines. There's hundreds of thousands of odds. PrizePicks has, tons and tons of lines. So as a sharp bettor, you're constantly trying to figure out, like, okay, where's the opportunity? Where are lines moving? Where's their value in bets that actually have an edge that beats the book, right? So Johnson under 25.5 is the play I went with on PrizePicks. So again, we haven't done a ton of PrizePicks videos recently, just because if you go here, like we've been doing more Underdog fantasy, and the reason for that is just Underdog, they have better payouts, right? They offer better prices in general. So we've been playing with them more just because, again, there's more opportunity. It's really that simple in terms of why we've been doing stuff with Underdog. The next play I have is Jamal Williams over 62.5 rushing yards, right? So this is another bet I just found on the middle betting tool. And what you'll see right here is like, hey, you know, all the sports books kind of have him 65.5 to 68.5. We're getting over 62.5 on PrizePicks. Seems pretty good, right? So this is another middle bet I found. You know, they're way off from the rest of the market on PrizePicks. So 2 data-driven bets with value that I like. We got Williams over 62.5 rushing yards. Johnson under 25.5 receiving yards. You know, hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions about PrizePicks, whatever, you can reach out to us. Our goal is just to help sports bettors make money. I love my job for that reason. And let's go beat the books.